corners of the world. There's a chilling phenomenon that has haunted those who dare to think about it. It's called the 100th monkey effect, a twisted, unexplainable event that occurs when a new idea, a new behavior, spreads with horrifying speed from one group to every group connected to it. The legend tells of how once a critical number of individuals within a group embrace this new idea or behavior, it suddenly breaks free, expanding outward to others, instantly, uncontrollably, like a virus. It starts small, quietly. One monkey, one individual, begins to perform a strange new act, something no one has ever seen before. But as the number of monkeys who adopt this bizarre behavior grows, an eerie change occurs. When the 100th monkey crosses the threshold, the floodgates open. The behavior, the idea, ripples through the ether, infecting all other monkeys, without a word, without contact. And it doesn't stop there. The idea, the power of it, spreads faster than a curse, creeping across distant lands, reaching those who have never encountered the original group. It's as though a dark force has taken hold, binding them all, controlling them with an invisible hand. What's even more terrifying is that no one knows how this happens, or why. It's as if once the threshold is met, the universe itself shifts, forcing a collective awareness. The 100th monkey effect isn't just a concept, it's a chilling force, lurking, waiting to unleash its power, spreading with the silent ferocity of a nightmare. And once it takes hold, there is no going back. The tragic death of James Dean in 1955 left behind more than just a mournful legacy. It unleashed a malevolent curse tied to his iconic Porsche 550 Spider, nicknamed Metal Bustard. The car, which Dean was driving when he met his untimely death, became the focus of a chilling urban legend. The story goes that anyone who took a piece of the wreckage from Little Bastard was doomed to suffer a horrific fate, usually in a car accident of their own. Mechanics, fans, and even curious onlookers who dared to claim parts of the car, an engine, a tire, a seat, found themselves drawn into a web of death and destruction. One by one, those who tampered with the wreck met violent ends, often in accidents eerily similar to Dean's. The curse didn't stop there. The wreckage itself seemed to carry an unrelenting evil. The car, after being sold and resold, was involved in a series of deadly accidents, claiming the lives of those who came too close. In 1959, the car mysteriously vanished from a garage in Los Angeles, further adding to its legend. Some believe it disappeared in as though it had been swallowed by the earth, or worse, taken by a force that would never let it rest. The little bastard seemed to be a malevolent entity, a dark force that claimed anyone unfortunate enough to come into contact with it. The story of the cursed Portia lives on, a reminder that some tragedies do not simply fade with time. They become warnings, lingering in the shadows, waiting to claim the next victim. If you ever encounter Little Bastard, don't touch it. The curse is waiting. The Ghost Boy of Clinton Road is one of the most unsettling urban legends, set in the eerie, desolate stretches of Clinton Road in New Jersey. The legend tells of a boy, young and innocent, whose life was tragically cut short near an old, crumbling bridge that spans the dark waters below. Since his death, he is said to haunt the bridge, waiting for the living to come and play his haunting game. Those brave or foolish enough to stop at the bridge and toss a coin into the murky water below might find themselves in the grip of something truly supernatural. As the coin sinks into the dark abyss, the legend claims that the ghostly boy, his presence barely more than a shadow in the dim light, will return the coin to you. But it isn't just the coin that's returned. There's something more chilling about the encounter. As you wait in the silence, the temperature drops, and you may feel a cold hand brush against your own. The touch of the boy reaching out from the grave. Some say the boy's ghost is trying to communicate, trapped in a never-ending loop. his last moments. Others whisper that his return of the coins is a dark invitation, an omen that something more sinister waits in the shadows, watching and waiting for the next visitor. The Ghost Boy of Clinton Road is not just a tale to be told. It's a warning. If you ever find yourself standing near the bridge, don't throw the coin, because if he comes back to return it, you might not ever leave. In the shadowed corners of Maple Hill Park, Alabama, lies a playground drenched in death and sorrow, known as the Dead Children's Playground. It sits next to the Maple Hill Cemetery, a final resting place for dozens of children who perished during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918. Their spirits, restless and angry, are said to haunt the swings and slides, forever trapped between life and death. Late at night, when the moon casts long shadows across the park, eerie sounds can be heard. The creak of the swing sets moving without wind, the faint laughter of children too young to understand the weight of their fate. Some say that if you stand near the playground after dark, you'll feel a chill, an oppressive presence that fills the air, as if something, someone is watching you from the darkness. Those brave enough to visit the playground claim to see the swings moving on their own, as if pushed by invisible hands. Others have reported hearing the soft, disembodied whispers of children pleading to be heard. But it's not just the sounds that unsettle those who dare to linger. Some have felt a tug on their clothing, a cold hand brushing against their skin, as if the lost lost children of Maple Hill are reaching out for company, forever seeking the warmth of life they lost so long ago. If you hear their voices, you may never leave the playground, and perhaps you may never want to. The 27 Club is a chilling urban legend that has gripped the imaginations of music fans and mystics alike. A macabre pattern woven into the lives of some of the world's brightest stars. It is said that a disturbing number of celebrated musicians and artists, those who reach the peak of their creative power, meet their end at the age of 7, as if some dark force claims them before they can fully realize their potential. Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, and Jean-Michel Basquiat, each of them brilliant and tragic in their own right, died at this cursed age, their lives snuffed out in ways as mysterious as they were haunting. Some say it's a cruel twist of fate. Others whisper that a sinister force, something beyond mere coincidence, pulls these gifted souls into the abyss, despite studies debunking the statistical spike of musician deaths at 27. The legend persists, fueled by the sheer number of luminaries who met their end at that cursed age. The mystery deepens with each new member of the club. Every death, a reminder that talent and fame come at a dreadful price. The 27 Club is not just a myth, it's a grim reminder that some things are too powerful to be explained. An eerie mark, a final note that echoes through history, far too chilling to ignore. is a terrifying urban legend that has haunted South Korea for nearly a century. The myth claims that sleeping in a closed, windowless room with an electric fan running can lead to a horrifying is that the fan's cold breeze, combined with the still air, will suffocate the person or cause their body temperature to plummet, leading to fatal asphyxiation. Some versions say the fan creates a vacuum, draining the oxygen from the room, leaving the sleeper to suffocate in their own bed. The origins of this grim tale date back to the 1920s and 1930s, a time when South Korea was gripped by superstition and fear. Since then, the legend has persisted, warning people to never sleep with a fan on in a closed room. Even in modern times, the myth holds sway. In 2011, the Korea Herald reported the death of a 59-year-old man found lifeless with a fan pointed directly at him, reinforcing the chilling idea that the fan had taken his life. Though skeptics dismiss the phenomenon as a mere myth, the fear of fan death remains very real to many. To this day, warnings against the practice are printed on many fans sold in South Korea, a constant reminder that some dangers are said to lurk in the seemingly innocent hum of an electric fan. The Enfield poltergeist is one of the most chilling supernatural events in modern history, a story that still haunts the minds of those who hear it. In the late 1970s, between 1977 and 1979, a council house on 284 Green Street in Enfield, London, became the epicenter of unspeakable terror. Two young sisters, ages 11 and 13, found themselves at the mercy of an unseen force, a malicious spirit that seemed hell-bent on tormenting them. It started with furniture moving of its own accord, eerie knocks echoing through the walls, and objects levitating with a terrifying, unnatural force officers and paranormal investigators reported witnessing furniture flying across rooms, doors slamming with a force that shook the house to its core. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, as if the very walls were alive with the spirit of something malevolent. For years, the Enfield poltergeist defied explanation, leaving those involved forever chained. Many are convinced that the house at Green Street. The legend of the Frozen Hill people is one of the most chilling tales to emerge from the snow-covered hills of Bridgewater Corners, Vermont. It dates back to December 21st, 1887, when a poor farming family, isolated by the unforgiving wilderness, disappeared into the bleak winter landscape. Struggling with poverty, the family was forced to endure harsh, unrelenting winters in their humble cabin. But on that fateful winter night, a mysterious cold swept through the hills, colder than anything anyone had ever experienced. Neighbors in nearby settlements spoke of hearing strange, bone-chilling howls in the dead of night, and thick, unnatural fog rolling down from the mountains. When a search party finally made its way to the family's cabin, they found something unimaginable. The family, father, mother, and children, were discovered frozen, their bodies eerily preserved in time, as if the cold had stolen their very souls. But it wasn't just the unnatural frost that unnerved the rescuers. It was their faces. The frozen expressions of horror etched into their features seemed to suggest something far worse had happened before their bodies succumbed to the cold. Their eyes were wide open, locked in a silent scream. Some say the family never died, but were trapped in a nightmarish, endless sleep, cursed by an ancient force that still haunts the hills. Devil's Chair is a chilling urban legend, one that has haunted the minds of many who dare to speak its name in the desolate corners of abandoned cemeteries. Hidden in plain sight sits an eerie monument, an ominous, weathered chair, its stone surface cold and lifeless. But beware, this is no ordinary chair. It is cursed. Locals whisper that the chair is the resting place of a tormented soul, forever bound to its seat. Those who sit in it are doomed to be visited by dark, malevolent forces from beyond the grave. Some say the chair absorbs their life force, leaving them weak and hollow, while others claim they are plagued by nightmarish visions of the damned. Several have vanished without a trace after sitting in it, their bodies found twisted and unrecognizable, as if some unseen force had pulled their very essence into the chair itself. But the legend doesn't end there. It is said that on moonless nights, the chair becomes alive with a sinister presence, its cold stone heated by an unnatural energy. Those foolish enough to touch it report hearing faint whispers, the soft, agonizing screams of souls trapped in eternal torment. The Devil's Chair is not just a relic, it's a warning. Never sit in it, never challenge it, for some curses are not meant to be broken. Dudley Town, once a thriving settlement nestled deep in the eerie forests of Connecticut, is now a desolate, forsaken ghost town, its very name whispered in fear. The town's dark history is shrouded in mystery, cursed by the tragic fate of its residents. It is said that the Dudley family, cursed by a mysterious ancestor, something malevolent, something that refuses to let the town's dark past die. Vandals and thrill seekers have tried to enter, but many leave with their minds shattered, or worse, never to return. Dudley Town is not just abandoned, it is haunted by the restless spirits of the past, forever trapped in its desolate ruins, waiting for the next soul to wander into their grasp. The Dover Demon is a chilling legend that has haunted the small town of Dover, Massachusetts, since the spring of 1977. Over the course of 2 terrifying nights, 3 separate witnesses claimed to encounter a creature so otherworldly, its image has burned itself into local lore forever. The first sighting occurred on April 21st, when 17-year-old William Bartlett was driving down a dark, deserted road. As his headlights pierced the night, they illuminated something that shouldn't exist. Perched on a low stone wall was a creature with skin the color of pale, sickly flesh, stretched taut over its gaunt, spindly frame. Its oversized head was grotesquely round, with glowing orange eyes that burned like smoldering embers. It had no nose, no mouth, just an empty, silent stare that seemed to bore into his very soul. The second encounter happened just hours later. John Baxter, walking home through a wooded path, was startled by a grotesque silhouette in the shadows. The figure moved with a jerking, unnatural gait, its limbs impossibly long and frail. It followed him, closing the distance without a sound, before vanishing into the dark forest. Baxter swore its glowing eyes never wavered from him. The final sighting came from Abby Brabham the next evening. She described a gangly, otherworldly creature crouched near a stream, its elongated fingers clutching at the earth, as if searching for something, its gaze locked on her. Those unblinking, fiery eyes, paralyzing her with an unnatural dread. No tracks, no evidence, no explanation was ever found. Skeptics called it a hoax, but those who saw it still tremble when they recall its stare, Some whisper the creature wasn't of this world, while others fear it still lurks in Dover's shadowy woods, watching, waiting. The Dover demon remains an enigma, a sinister reminder that the unknown might be closer than we think, and it's always watching from the dark. In the haunting expanse of the Santa Lucia Range, there are whispers of shadowy figures, tall, silent, and unnervingly still, known as Los Vigilantes Oscuros to the early Spanish settlers. These beings are the Dark Watchers, a mysterious and terrifying presence that lurks in the high mountain peaks. No one knows who or what they are, but their chilling gaze has been reported by countless travelers who wander too close to the range. The Dark Watchers are seen at dusk. Their tall, shadowy forms standing motionless against the fading light. They are figures of silence, black silhouettes, almost human in shape, but too large, too otherworldly to be real. From the cliffs and hills they watch, never moving, never speaking, just observing. Some say their eyes burn with an unnatural light, their stare piercing the very soul of anyone who dares to venture into their territory. Those who have dared to approach report an overwhelming feeling of dread, as though the air itself thickens with a malevolent force. The Watchers never make a sound, but their presence is undeniable, heavy, suffocating. And when travelers turn to leave, they are often followed, as though something dark is trailing them through the shadows, just beyond their reach. The Dark Watchers are a warning, a curse, or perhaps something even older, waiting for the next soul